Hello, people of the internet. My name is JD Shadow, and I'm going to do a state of the channel address so people are up to speed about what might happen or what could happen, and more along the lines of what I've been dealing with and what my anxieties and panic is, and share some real talk with some of you in order to get some stuff off of my chest, and hopefully you don't mind me doing that. Game in the background is going to be Final Fantasy 14. I had to do some stuff on the game anyway, so I thought, why not just show you what it is I'm doing. Maybe it's just some duty roulettes to get my character up to speed for Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers that just dropped the announcement like a sack of potatoes, and the Blue Mage job, which is a limited job. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I'm not sure what is going on there. I hope that at some point we either get some justification of why they made it the way they did, or some reversal on that. I'm not sure if a beloved job as a Blue Mage is the right way to go about trying to experiment a new type of job on that. Maybe something that we don't know anything about yet. And quite obviously there's going to be more than one new job in the upcoming expansion, so I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. But that is what's in the background right now. My kitty girl, the cutest badass ever. And that is an absolute fact. Whoever tells you otherwise is flat out lying to you. Keep that in mind. Okay, so what exactly is happening to my channel? Well, lately, since I exhausted all the episodes to the Miraculous series, as of this moment, and we'll get to that here in just a second, because I heard a rambling saying that there's going to be a new episode this Saturday is going to be released. So we'll see how that goes. If that happens, then definitely by next Monday you'll probably be seeing that reaction, but I'll get to the reaction here in just a second. But since that time, I haven't really figured out what I want to do for a Monday. It seems as though I have a lot of series I could finish up, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I have Log Horizon, I have Magical Girl Ore, I have Kill la Kill that I need to finish at some point in time. I have yet to do that. And of course the one-star animes. I was doing school days, and then I just got caught up in Twitch and all that, and I just shoved that at the wayside, and I never thought of it again. Well, I want to get back to that, but I'm not quite sure what I want to start off with first. But there's another caveat to this, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But that's mainly the reason why you haven't seen much as it pertains to reactions from me, because I don't really know what I want to do. Maybe some people can help me out with that. What do you want to see? Do you want to see a new series? Do you want to see me continue on some of the older series that I've been doing and I couldn't get to because some more current stuff was right there for the picking? Maybe that can help me in figuring out what I want to do there. But there's another thing I need some more help with when it comes time to do that. So let me get to some real talk, because I feel as though we need to talk about this. As you may be well aware, it may not look like it, it may not be as bad as some other people who have had it, but I have suffered through some anxiety in my life. I have dealt with a lot of panic. I've felt as though my health issues, when something happened back in 1995, it just gave me a lot of stress and a lot of pain and a lot of panic, and it just manifested into other things. And it just continued on and on and on. And of course, you probably are well aware of this. I did my anxiety shadowcast with various people, and I've talked about it at length in a couple of videos. And to be quite honest, I haven't really gotten much help for that. And the reason why that is because I've not really want to spend that much money on it, because I'm not really rich in any sense of the word. I don't spend money wisely, let's put it that way. And second of all is that stigma. I don't want to be seen in real life going to a psychiatric center or something like that. I don't want to be that guy that goes and does that, because I don't want to be seen as somebody who is crazy or is in a constant state of depression and stuff like that. I don't want to be known as that, at least in real life, because the area I live in has this knack for not knowing when to shut up about other people. It's one of those types of areas. but also it's one of those types of areas it's hard to explain, but if you're not liking the mainstream, then you're a severe outcast. I mean, in this area, it's you like country music or classic rock, and that's about it. If you're not in those two areas of liking music, then what type of person are you, basically? And if you're not listening to or watching the latest overhyped show or what have you, then you're a subhuman, basically. And I'm pretty sure you know about some other areas that are like that, and that doesn't mean that everybody in the area that I live in is like that, but a good majority of people are like that. So me going to saying, hey, I need some help, some psychological advice, or I'm dealing with this or that, and is there something that you could say that might assist me in this area? And if I come out and like, why are you going there? You don't sound like the type of person that would need something like that. Because keep in mind, I like to keep my real life and my online life separate from each other. People who know me in real life don't even know that I have a YouTube channel. And the people who I talk to online or through the YouTube channel, they don't really know my real life. And I like to keep it that way because of this whole thing where if I reveal a lot about my private life, what will happen is that because of the type of things that I discuss on my channel, that might put some people in danger I don't want to have in danger because of the stigma that some of that stuff brings with it nowadays. And I want to keep that separate if at all possible. Plus, there are a lot of pretty nosy people. Let's just put it that way. They're like, what are you doing? What is that? What is that? And I'm kind of shy. I've always been like that. So it's a troublesome thing to try to keep the two separate, but I like to do that. So that is also a big obstacle that I really would love to overcome at some point. But right now, it just seems like that's something that I would have to work on within like a year or so. But it's because of that, it's because of this whole thing that unfortunately it manifests into something that I really don't like, and it's becoming a sort of mountain that just keeps getting higher and higher and higher for me to try to climb. And it's made me paranoid, it's made me anxious, it's made me worried that some of my closest friends are out to get me. And that is not a good feeling to have. And it's a feeling I don't want to have. It's a feeling that I have seen get me into a lot of trouble. I've been paranoid that I can't trust anybody, that I can't just say, hey, I do trust you fully. I have to always think that I need to look behind my back because someone might have a knife they're ready to stab in the back. However, what I've been seeing lately is that I might be the one that has the knife in the first place. It might be me that they're trying to fight off. Because one of the things that I have said before, and I think I've said it before, is that whenever I feel like it's going to become a thing where I'm going to get attacked in that sort of way, I sort of go into a defense mode. I sort of go into a scorched earth defense mode where it seems like I self-destruct on a person. I suddenly turn on that person. And I don't want to do that. There are very good friends I have right now. I have Luna, I have Michelle, I have Brian, I have everybody in the Nocturnal Squad or Nocturnal Network or whatever we call it. I like to call it Nocturnal Network because we all work as a team, I would like to think. But I got a lot of friends there that I don't want to do that to, and I almost did that with Luna. I almost did that with her. I have gotten very jealous of other people's successes because I felt like I've never gotten mine. I felt like that I've been trying to get something going in which I am good at. I feel like I'm good at, and I feel like I'm improving on this channel. I feel like I'm taking people's advice well, but there are times in which I get very jealous of a person and I sort of freak out because they got a lot of success and they get a lot of views and they get a lot of people watching their channel. And then I'm like, wait a minute, why are they not watching me? And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And it's also because I try to get feedback and I very rarely see that I get any feedback when I ask for it. So when I freaked out on her, and this is something that I'm not sure if she's going to like me saying in public, but I feel as though it put a severe strain on the friendship that I have with her. And it's something I don't want. It's something that I don't need. It's something that I can't have right now. keep in mind that there's a lot of things that I've thought about with the channel and why I've seen things happen that have bothered me to a point where I feel like I have to address them. And I'm going to address them here, and hopefully none of you mind that I say something about that. But that's not something that I want to have happen, because some of the things that I've gone through that you probably don't know about, she's been able to help me with. She's been able to help me get off of the proverbial edge, if you will, and see that there is a group of people that do care for you, who do like you. And I thank her immensely for that. And for me to turn on her like that, to have me just say, hey, I don't trust you, that hurts me, and I'm pretty sure it hurts her too. But it hurts me even more so because of the notion that it's me that's doing it. It's me that's like, this is a friend of mine. This is somebody who I should trust with my life, and here I am turning on her like that. And it's not fun. It's severely not fun. And it's not just her, it's Michelle as well. And it's creating a lot of drama, and I'm the one that's doing it, and that doesn't feel good to do that. And it's all because I can't get this thought out of my head that I always have to keep my friends closer but my enemies closer in a way. And they are far from enemies, and I don't like to do that. I don't want to do that. But unfortunately, this whole idea has been with me for years. And I know that it's not something that's healthy. It's not something that I need to have right now. And it's helped me get kicked out of several communities, including one last year, which I'm not going to get into right now. But if you looked at some of the videos last year about a certain Discord message, you probably understand of that being something that caused a lot of heartache, and turmoil, and a lot of tension. I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother matter entirely. But the issue has manifested lately because of another big problem that I feel as though I need to address here. And I think that you might understand where I'm coming from a little bit more when I explain it. As you very well know, I do reactions of anime. I do reactions to shows. You probably know that by now. But that wasn't the only thing this channel was. This was originally going to be a gaming channel. This was originally going to be me doing Let's Plays of certain games, and I did the first big one of Watch Dogs, and I never really finished that, did I? That's because the game was pretty freaking boring. I heard the second game was really, really good in comparison to the first one, but I never really played it. So there you go. But this was originally going to be a gaming channel. I was originally going to feature me playing games. And that kind of manifested to Sailor Moon Crystal Reactions. And the reason why I did that is because Nostalgia Critic did a review of Sailor Moon, and I don't know if he knew the entire series through and through enough to warrant a particular review. Now, that was just my opinion of that. But ever since then, it's kind of manifested into a sort of catch-all sort of channel, as in a Geek Gaming Culture channel. That's why I named it Geek Gaming Culture, because I like to incorporate all three of those ideas into one channel. I couldn't really decide on what I wanted to do, so why not just do it all? Why just have a motto that says, hey, you do it all? Like, Michelle's channel focuses more on topics that pertain to females, and she has an awesome channel. You guys should watch it. You guys should listen to her podcast. She does an awesome job with them. But if I could point out a particular set of channels, of cable channels that I could compare me and hers to, she would obviously be Lifetime Network, or auction geared toward females, more to women, and more quote-unquote girly type stuff, which I'm not sure if you could genderize that sort of thing anymore, but that's another matter entirely. But if we're comparing that, mine would be more like the USA Network. Now, if you don't know why I'm saying that, USA Network doesn't really have a genre attached to it like Sci-Fi Channel or MTV did. USA Network doesn't suffer from network decay or something like that because they were never given themselves a genre that they focus on. They was a generalized entertainment. They did whatever the hell they wanted. I mean, they had reruns of game shows, they had cartoons on there, they've always had wrestling, WWE, WWF, what you would call it. They always had a sort of way to be able to change things up if they so wanted to, and they didn't really get accused of network decay as much as any other cable channel because they didn't really have a genre attached to it. They could show sports, they could show whatever they wanted, and it would be fine because, again, they didn't have that genre attached to it. I don't want to be pigeonholed into that sort of thing. I don't want to be going into one particular aspect on the channel and then all of a sudden say, hey, this works, we want to go this way, and then like, wait a minute, where did the gaming go? Where did the anime reactions go? What I want it for this channel to be is, okay, I can talk about the sensitive topics if I wanted to, but if you didn't get into it, you didn't have to watch them. Like, if you watched the Miraculous Ladybug reactions, and I hope you guys did, but then you saw that I was talking about the Jessica Price situation, like, you know what, that doesn't really interest me, I'm not really into politics, then you don't have to watch that if you don't want to. That's for some of the audience that gets into that sort of thing that I talk about. And then you can just say, hey, I'll just wait for the next Miraculous Ladybug reaction, and then I can go ahead and watch the channel. And that's what I based my whole thought around, is that you can come to this channel and you can get a lot of different things. It is not just one thing, it is a whole smorgasbord of different things. And if I decide, hey, I want to do this or that instead on one particular day, it's fine because I never really pigeonholed myself into that one mentality. That is the brand. That is the whole mentality. That is the brand of mine. Is that, hey, we're more generalized. We're less pigeonholed than some other channels are. If we can do one thing one day and then another thing another day, then we're not going to be accused of channel decay, basically. And for the most part, that does kind of work. It does work in the sense that, okay, I got a lot of views on my Jessica Price video because I felt like that had to be addressed. The person who said all that stuff to DeRoyer was somebody that I don't feel had the right frame of mind, but apparently she had other ideas in mind. Now that in and of itself, okay, a lot of people watched that, but before that, a lot of people were watching The Collector, my Miraculous Ladybug reaction, and then the next one, which was Prime Queen. Now, keep in mind, the general demographic of Miraculous, usually they're more of the tween crowd. Now, I'm not saying that that means that only tweens should watch it. I'm a 36-year-old person, I'm watching this show. Keep that in mind. There are 50-year-old people who will watch cartoons because that's what interests them. And that's the beauty of animation. That's the beauty of this sort of modern day geek culture, is that it is welcoming to all age groups, all genders, and they can watch basically whatever the heck they want because there is not really a specialized gender or age group that a person has to belong to in order to enjoy that type of content. That's why I enjoy modern day nerd culture, but it does have its caveats here, because I noticed that once I did the change to channel controversy, if you remember what that is, Channel Awesome was accused of a lot of things through something called the Not So Awesome document, and because of what happened there, they got a lot of heck for it. And what happened here was that I covered it and I knew some of the things that were being talked about. I thought, wait a minute, I could put a different perspective to it. And I made that big video. I made a lot of videos about that. When I made those videos, I took a different side, a side that wasn't exactly what the majority was thinking of at the time. Now, since then, there have been people who would say, wait a minute, there are people who were writing in that document that didn't exactly say the entire truth here, that left something to doubt with what they were saying. But at the time, there were a lot of people that definitely took the side of the creators. I was not one of them. And because of that, because of what I've said, maybe the next Miraculous Ladybug reaction, which was the Spare Bear, took a massive hit in views. Now, I didn't know why, but my mind was starting to go onto that whole thing where I was talking about Channel Awesome, because one of the big reveals of that document was what happened with Jew Warrior. And you guys go back and watch that to figure out what exactly was going on there. That was a huge thing that was not only political, but very personal to some people, because they went through something like what Wario did. Regardless of who knew and should have said something about it, the fact of the matter is that there were a lot of people who went through what he put some of those people through. And it was because of where I stood on that whole thing that I feel as though some people who were watching the Miraculous reactions and saw what I said on the Change the Channel stuff, that said, you know what, I don't want to be associated with him because he is apologizing for what Justin Carmichael did. It seems as though that's what he did. Now, I don't know that for sure because, again, I never got any feedback saying, why are you defending him? Why are you defending him? I was not, but that might have been what people were thinking. Then came the Jessica Price stuff, and yes, I made a lot of videos about that because that was the big thing. Now, remember that I talked about those types of issues in the past, the types that talk about social justice. And again, I talked about JonTron, I talked about PewDiePie, I talked about a whole bunch of other issues that delved into that. And yes, the sides I took weren't exactly the ones the majority did take. So again, I do believe that those viewpoints, especially the ones that I had last year, had something to do with the current state I'm in now. But when I talked about the Jessica Price situation, there were a lot of people that were on Arena that side there, but there were also a lot of people who might have already disliked what I said about Channel Awesome that might have said, okay, that's the last straw. That's where I draw the line. The viewership of the next Miraculous dropped significantly there. Now I'm struggling to hit 1K views on some of these reactions. Now, also keep in mind I'm going through a lot of deals with copyright issues with On Entertainment and stuff like that. And I'm trying my best in order to make sure that I keep them at bay, and because of that, I had to delete videos and re-upload them because I was going to hit with copyright strikes even. That's why I had to re-upload Robustus, is because that was going to get taken down. They were fighting me on that tooth and nail for some reason. Robustus was getting hit hard by that. I don't know why. They were giving me 7 days to retract my counter notification before they decided to take the video completely down. And I wasn't going to give that to them. But at the same time, I didn't want to lose what I was getting from that whole thing. So I just took the video down and I re-uploaded it. Now, that meant that I lost whatever views I had from that, but at the very least, you still get to see what I had done. I had to correct a sound error on that anyway, so there you go. Of course, that may have contributed to the view hit that I had now, but I don't think it was just that. I don't think it was that in the way that you might be thinking. And then came the Monday Matt situation, and wow, did I ever get flack for that. If you don't know, Monday Matt, which was a YouTube vlogger, flagged some videos which he deemed to be harassing. However, they were more or less critical of him, but there was a lot of questions surrounding those videos that he took down, whether or not they were always harassing him, and that was just the last straw. There was a lot of caveats to be had there, but the main point was that I took his side on that, and I came and went to bat for him at a point when not only was he very unpopular for that, but also keep in mind the stigma that he has had for years. And the main thing that he talked about in 2014, 2015, I'm not going to say what it is. You guys know what it is. But he was one of the main people that, with no fault of his own, got the party started there. And the kind of company that he had to admit this to were the kind of people that are just not good people. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to get into that again. But let's just say that just for the fact that I know the people exist and that I know who they are and I'm familiar with who they are is enough for people to be really squeamish. And keep in mind, there was a video I made private that got me the most dislikes I have ever gotten on a video. There were only 2 likes on the video that I made and 51 dislikes. That is amazing of how many people did not like the view that I made, the viewpoint that I put out there. Because I also said, you know what, if someone was coming to harass me and said mean things about me in such a way that I felt was completely vitriolic and completely out of line, then yes, I'm going to take action against the video. That's what I said at that point in time. And I think a lot of people have a very strong opinion about that. And yes, that actually bled over into the Miraculous reactions, because I do believe there were some people who saw the other content I made and decided to harass me on that. And yes, they did do that. I have deleted a few comments off of those reactions because the people who were doing that saw that and decided to harass me on those reactions. And I thought, no, you're not going to do that. But after that, another hit. The people who left during the channel awesome thing didn't come back, and then I took another hit, and the people who were left got mad at me for the Jessica Price thing, and they didn't come back. And then, of course, the Monday Matt stuff, and then those people didn't come back. A lot of those people didn't come back, supposedly. But there's also a problem in which YouTube might had the platform me, because there's that whole conspiracy going around that YouTube's doing that to some people who talk about sensitive topics and take certain sides. And I might have gotten caught in that. So if you are not seeing my videos in your sub box, you might want to click that bell and make sure you do, because there might be something going on with YouTube. I still have to contact YouTube about that. They said for me to contact them, and I want to do that, but I've never gotten around to it yet. So I should go ahead and do that. But you now know, in a way, what kind of dilemma I'm in. The people who are coming to see one thing will see another thing and be mad that I'm doing it at all. Like, if I'm talking about Jessica Price and someone from Miraculous sees that I'm against Jessica Price doing what she did, they might object to me even having a video about it, to me even going into politics at all. Because what if they are trying to look for the latest reaction and they have to shift through that whole drama that I decided to talk about? Or the latest issue with the Sony copyright. Where are the reactions? Where did they go? You said you were going to do reactions. Where are they? So my whole dilemma is what to do about that. Do I just reiterate what this channel is supposed to be? And again, I want to have this channel be like a smorgasbord of different things. But if someone is not wanting to see politics on that channel at all, or see that I'm taking a certain side, or seeing that I'm even talking about a certain topic, and they don't want me talking about a certain topic, they just want me to keep things off of the channel, keep it clean, that creates a big problem. Not just because those people who I want to watch the Miraculous Ladybug reactions, or any reaction for that matter, don't watch them at all because of the fact that those videos are on there. But then I get this whole issue where the people who want to watch all of the things, and people who not only watch the Ladybug reactions, but maybe they would see me talking about a certain gaming topic. Like, wait a minute, I might be into this. Maybe I might be into this sort of thing or that sort of thing. Something that I might be interested in on the side. Maybe he likes some of the stuff that I like. Maybe I might like this stuff too. Because the other goal is to get people who like one particular thing that I do, it might end up crossing them over into liking something that they might not have known that they liked. Like, maybe if you are into Miraculous Ladybug, you watch those reactions, the hope would be was that, okay, maybe I can get you to become a good gamer. Maybe I can get you to try something out like Final Fantasy XIV, which you're showing right now. Maybe I can interest you in these other videos. Maybe I can interest you in maybe Sailor Moon or Kill la Kill or some of those other reactions that I do, or some of the other videos that I'm putting out there. Or maybe you might want to listen to what I have to say in a political spectrum or a more personal avenue. But at the same time, what if those people don't want to see anything else on that channel? What would happen at that point? That is a big, big problem that I'm not quite sure if it has a solution. My friends have a particular solution, and I want to delve into that here in a minute. But at the same time, I wanted to address the reasons why I'm thinking of certain things. And of course, the people on the flip side who came to hear me talk about gaming or the culture stuff or things like Reset Error, which has gotten my attention lately, and the drama with that, wanted me to talk about this drama and the Sony censorship, may not like me going into anime reactions. They might not like that. The goal is to have crossover stuff, but if you're only having a audience who is coming to see one thing and they see another thing, they're out of there. That doesn't help. That's not going to help in any sort of regard. If it's 50-50, which right now it kind of is, it is really, really tough to try to separate those two things, especially if you're somebody who based the whole channel around the fact that it is not pigeonholed. It is not just one genre of thing, that you can get everything on one channel. You can fit everything. You can have a channel that caters to a large amount of audiences instead of just one particular audience, and then have the other ones just be shoved off to the side somewhere. So yeah, that is something else that I feel as though needs addressing. But more so to that, I want to also deal with the quality of these videos, because the stuff that you're hearing right now, I have a pretty good microphone, I do. You've seen it. On my reaction videos, you've probably seen the mic that I have, a Blue Yeti microphone. It is pretty freaking good. I wanted to get a Shure microphone, but that costs an arm and leg, so I'm gonna hold off on that till I actually get the money for it. But in the meantime, I have the Blue Yeti and it's working pretty good, so no real reason to switch now when it's doing pretty good. It picks a lot of stuff up. However, not much can be said about the quality of the picture of my face that you're seeing in the reactions. Now, I've gotten a lot of help from Luna about how to deal with that, and if you haven't noticed, the latest reactions, Gorizilla, Captain Hard Rock, and I think SQUADMATES had that treatment as well, has a lot of different lighting to it. It has a lot better lighting. I've gotten some things situated to where I think I'm sort of happy with it now, but at the same time, I am not completely 100% satisfied with it. There was a lot of things that I could do better, but they look a lot better than the old ones did. At the beginning, when I started with the collector, you could probably see the reaction, the quality of the camera, the lighting sucked. I didn't like it. I don't like it now. But when you get the Gorizilla, yes, the lighting is good. I really enjoyed that lighting there. The other thing that I think needs to be addressed is, and I want to bring this up, is I need to come out of my shell a little bit more. You may not believe it, but not only am I shy, but I have to be a little bit subdued, and here's the reason why. I have other people living in the house. I'm not the only one who lives in my house. And it's really hard to become very loud to a certain scene and very energetic and very emotional to a scene when you need to be subdued because there are other people who will say something if you are heard. That is very tough to do, especially when there's always somebody who's there, either in the house or the neighbors. It's not the best way to record. And because of that, I feel as though things that I could have a more energetic reaction to, I had to be more subdued, and to the point where I'm not even reacting at all to scenes where I should have a very good reaction to. Like for SQUADMATES, for instance, there was a scene, and there's coming a spoiler here, so be aware, where Alia turns in the Miraculous that she had, the Kwame that she had, and I just sat there and just watched. There was really nothing else that was doing at that point in time. I'm not sure why I included that in there. And that should have gotten a much better reaction from me, and I was really invested in that episode, but at the same time, I could have said something. I could have done something there, and I never did. Now, of course, you know my style right now is to put clips from other TV shows and movies and games into the reaction because I think they're pretty funny to include in there, and I haven't got any complaints about those, so I'm going to continue doing them because that sets my reactions apart from everybody else. I feel as though that's something unique that I add to it, as I have said before. But if you have seen Gorizilla, my reaction to it, you will no doubt know that I try to just say, hey, screw it, I'm just going to blurt out whatever it is, and I'm going to just react the way that I feel like I honestly feel about a certain scene. And wow, did it make a difference. I feel as though my voice was becoming kind of hoarse because I was yelling so much. And not for nothing, the episode kicked major ass. Maybe that was something that contributed to it, was that was a great episode. And people were saying do that episode last, and boy did that help me out a great deal. That went off on a high note. So yeah, that might be the way going forward, is to get out there and just react and just have fun doing it and not worry so much about whether or not somebody is going to hear you, for one thing, and second of all, whether or not you're going to get flack for it. Because, yeah, I've seen my friend Luna become quite emotional to a lot of scenes, and seeing me just sit there doing absolutely nothing to a scene that made her quite angry, and she became really animated about it, makes me think, okay, this has to be something I gotta change. Is me just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, while a scene that should elicit a lot of emotion, and it would have had I not been as subdued as I was, because I felt as though people would hear me if I had said something. I feel as though that hurts a lot to the reactions that I do. So with that being said, I feel as though I want to bring this stuff up to all of you. You've gotten through, what, maybe 40 minutes of me rambling about all sorts of different things about the channel? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to apologize greatly, first of all, to Luna for doing the kind of stuff I was doing. She has a great channel. You guys watch it. You probably already do by now, because I sent you guys there for one thing. And plus, she's an awesome friend, and I cannot say enough good things about her. I gave her shout outs a lot here on this channel. There's a reason why. But yeah, she is a genuine friend, and she has forgiven me for a lot of things in private. However, I wanted to do this more in public because I thought it would show some courage on my end, that I could say, hey, I done something wrong, I screwed up. And by being open about it, being more upfront about it, perhaps there could be some courage to be had there. And plus, I want to address this whole thing with me being self-destructive of my own friendships, and because I don't want that to become something that plagues me my entire life, and I've destroyed a lot of friendships of mine that I feel as though I want to keep. And hopefully the people who see this or hear this will understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully those people who have felt the brunt of that might understand, and hopefully would give me another chance to prove that that is not who I am, and that should not be the definition of me as a person. And yeah, that takes time in order to see that, but unfortunately it took me a lot of time to see that, and I can't say for certain that it may and may not happen again, but I want to work to make sure that the friendships I have now are those I keep, and the friendships I might have burned down, maybe we can rebuild over time. I would like to be able to do that over time. However, the other thing I want to bring up is the thing that I had been suggested, which is not necessarily a droppage of one of the three things, but rather to separate the three pillars of the channel into their separate channels. And what I mean by that is have a channel that's devoted to the gaming content, a channel that's devoted to the anime reactions, stuff like that, and then of course the serious stuff like the Channel Awesome stuff or something like that. Now, of course, there could be crossover stuff that the gaming content is going to touch upon the social issues, because social issues are playing into gaming. That is a little bit troublesome, and that's why I'm a little skeptical about whether or not I should do that. Now, of course, I want to think about this for a good long while, because that's a big step. I tried to do that before. I tried to separate the gaming content from the more serious stuff before, and it didn't seem as though it worked. But at that point in time, I thought, okay, I can put stuff onto a new channel, and nothing happened, and no one migrated to that. So I just brought everything back to one channel. And that's why I'm a little hesitant to do that, because I did try that before and it didn't really pan out the way I thought it would. But now that I have a bit more subscribers, maybe that will work this time. But I want to get people's opinions on that, if you think that would be a good idea. Because it comes all down to my subscribers, the people that come to my channel and watch the stuff that I do every day. Do you feel as though that's a good idea? Do you feel as though we could do that? Because that's one of the many suggestions that I've had. The other thing is to perhaps quell down a bit on the more controversial subjects that I touch upon. And there's a problem with that as well. There's some pros and cons with that as well, because the pros, of course, is that the stuff is not a distraction. Of course, the cons are that, one, there are people who came to hear me discuss those things, and plus the people have already seen that and were offended by that. The damage has already been done, so it's not like it's going to invite people back, because I feared for a long time that in this day and age, if you screw up one time, that's it. You don't get another chance, especially in this day and age where a lot of people have very, very deep-rooted opinions about what social justice is and what that stands for, and their opinions about it, and what happens if you deviate even the tiniest bit from what they think. And there's a lot of really sensitive subjects that you have to really dance around right now, and you can dance around them all day and still hit on a nail or hit on an eggshell, and that's all it takes. That's all they need in order to vilify you. And that's unfortunate, and I've talked about that before, but unfortunately it just keeps getting worse and worse as I've seen it. So it seems as though to some people damage has already been done, but I could be wrong on that. Plus, as I said, the idea is to have those people who watch one particular part of the channel decide, hey, I want to watch the other stuff that he has. Maybe I can make some of the people who are interested in Miraculous become gamers. Maybe I can make Luna into a gamer, and that's a goal of mine, actually. I'm gonna get her to play a game with me at some point. I'm going to do that, and that's going to be featured on both of our channels if I could get her to do that. That will happen at some point. Mark my words, it will happen. Maybe Michelle will become a victim of that as well. That may happen. And yes, if that happens, you will see it here. But I want to get your people's reactions and opinions and suggestions about what I could do in order to improve the quality of the channel, improve the quality of the reactions. Again, I could just let loose a little bit more on the reactions. I've had that problem before. Now you guys know why I seem to be subdued. It's not because I'm not excited about it. It's because I gotta be a little bit quieter when I'm doing them, because, you know, about neighbors and stuff like that. That's not good if you wake the neighbors up and they run like, what are you doing in there? Are you killing somebody? Or they, at worst, call the police on you. They haven't done that yet. Thank the Lord. And again, hopefully that rumor is true, that there is a new episode coming out this Saturday, and we can do something about that. On Monday, we will soon see. What other series can I do? Can I do a new series? Can I do a series that I have been putting on the back burner? Luna's suggesting My Hero Academia. She is suggesting that. That is a long series that has 2 seasons in it. That is not going to be an easy series to get through just because there's a lot of episodes there. And I'm saying if I do that, she has to do a series that I choose, and the one I'm choosing is one that I've watched already, and one that I have a feeling she's going to love. It is one that I have watched alongside another friend of mine, El Trio. That, of course, is Umaru-chan. She's going to love that. Hopefully she takes upon the challenge. I would love to have you guys watch that if she does that when she's done with Miraculous. There's no getting past the Miraculous, though. Oh, and if I do a reaction again, not if, when, you're going to see kind of a new backdrop that I have now. I'm going to keep that under wraps until I do another reaction, and I'll show you. You'll see it. Until next time, stay safe, and of course, watch those videos if you want to take a chance on some of the other content, and if you're here for one particular piece of content, and if you think, hey, maybe I want to watch that, feel free to. I want to hear what you guys think about some of my opinions, even if you don't agree. I would like for people who don't agree to tell me why. I would love to hear this. Honestly, constructive. Trolls and vitriolic people are going to get the smackdown from me and from Luna too, because guess what she is now? One of the reasons that I can talk highly of her is because, well, she is a moderator, a community moderator on my channel now. So yeah, that's how much I trust her, is to make sure that my channel stays clean of that garbage. So keep that in mind before you comment that there are a few people who I trust to make sure the comment section keeps clean, and she's one of them. She's a major person I trust in order to keep that channel clean. Until next time, my name is JD Shadow, and she's the cutest badass warrior you will ever meet. Anybody who says otherwise is a lie. Talk about the one you're seeing right now. That just happened.